There is a place in the family that often goes unnoticed, not the first, not the last, but the one in between. The middle child is born into a world already shaped by another, and later displaced by someone new. They are not the beginning of the story, nor the final chapter. They are the bridge, and bridges are rarely admired, but they carry weight. The first child enters an empty landscape, undivided attention, undiluted expectation, total novelty. They are the experiment, the standard, the proof of capability. The youngest, by contrast, arrives to a system already softened. Parents are experienced, rules are relaxed. Attention returns in protective waves. But the middle child enters a divided world. Attention is shared. Comparison is inevitable. Identity is not inherited. It must be carved. And carving leaves marks. Middle children often report a strange sensation. Not dramatic neglect. Not overt rejection. But subtle invisibility. The eldest is responsible. The youngest is the baby. The middle must negotiate relevance, so they adapt. Some become peacemakers, some become rebels, some become independent beyond their years, but nearly all develop a heightened sensitivity to social balance, because survival in the middle requires awareness. You must read the room, you must detect shifts, you must avoid becoming the forgotten variable. Birth order creates an unavoidable experiment in contrast. The eldest is compared to potential. The youngest is compared to innocence. The middle is compared to both. Why can't you be more like your older sibling? Why can't you be as easy as the youngest? Comparison shapes identity subtly. The middle child learns that uniqueness is safer than imitation. So they search for difference. Different hobbies, different friends, different values. Individuation becomes strategy. And strategy becomes personality. Research suggests middle children often develop strong negotiation skills. They mediate disputes. They smooth tension. They understand multiple perspectives. This is not coincidence. It is training. Growing between two identities requires flexibility. You learn to navigate power dynamics. You learn to compromise. You learn that harmony is stability. But harmony can become habit, and habit can become self-erasure. If your role is to maintain balance, where does your own desire go? Many middle children grow fiercely independent. Not because they are ignored, but because they learn early that attention is not guaranteed. Self-reliance becomes efficient. Needs are minimized. Emotions are filtered. This independence is often admired. But beneath it can exist a quiet question. If I do not demand attention, will anyone offer it? The paradox is subtle. The more capable the middle child becomes, the less urgent they appear. And the less urgent they appear, the less they are centered. Competence can create invisibility, yet something powerful emerges from this position. Middle children often develop strong peer relationships. While firstborns orient upward and youngest seek protection, the middle orients outward. Friends become chosen family. Connection becomes intentional. This external focus can create emotional intelligence. Empathy sharpened by observation. But empathy without boundaries can lead to over-accommodation, a constant tuning to others' needs, sometimes at the expense of the self. Who is the middle child when no comparison exists? Remove the older sibling, remove the younger, strip away contrast. What remains? This question lingers beneath many middle child experiences. Identity formed in reaction can feel unstable in isolation. Yet this instability is also adaptability. The middle child understands fluid roles. They have lived between archetypes. Not fixed as leader. Not defined as dependent. But oscillating. And oscillation builds perspective. In adulthood, the pattern can persist. Middle children may avoid extremes. They may prefer collaboration over dominance. They may resist rigid labels. They may downplay achievement, not out of weakness, but out of calibration. They learned early that equilibrium sustains systems. But sometimes equilibrium delays self-assertion. Sometimes peacekeeping postpones authenticity. And sometimes invisibility becomes comfortable, because it is familiar. Yet consider the advantage. To grow between identities is to understand multiplicity. To exist in the middle is to observe both ends. To adapt without collapsing. The middle child often carries quiet resilience. They know how to belong without being centered. They know how to survive without spotlight. And they know how to listen. In a world that rewards noise, listening is rare power. If birth order subtly shapes personality, how much of who you are was chosen? Was your independence inevitable? Was your empathy conditioned? Was your invisibility constructed? Or did you adapt beyond it? The middle position may not define destiny, but it introduces tension, and tension shapes structure. So if you were born between stories, are you the forgotten chapter, or the only one who understands the entire narrative? And if identity begins with position, who would you have become had you been born somewhere else in the sequence?